It has an incredible history, the Warrnambool May Carnival.
Let the carnival begin. They're off.
Right on. Down front of the band by a length and a half. One of them has got Chantry Rice coming to the last jump as well. 3 Dunray takes out the Grand Angel.
Oh, this is the bull. Go on, go on, all right. Go Middles, dead him. Go, go Middles. He's a rock star of the bull. I've never been so lonely in my life going around this track, but it was the best feeling in the world. Seriously, it's flying with the bull.
He has all the glory and all the accolades. I don't know just yet at this stage of his career, but I'm intrigued to find out.
How did he slip through the net at Ballydoyle?
Well, I mean, clearly he's been moved on for a significant sum of money. And is he the sort of horse that had the right attributes to really excel and make it to the very top in Europe? Clearly they felt not, and they will trade. You know, they have so many horses, so many beautifully bred horses. They will trade to Hong Kong, to Australia, and also it's all reflected glory anyway, because he's a no-nay never by one of their flagship stallions. So whichever way you look at it, Coolmore normally wins.
Yes.
And indeed, they've already won today because Star Spangled Banner's had a winner and a second in the two Group 1s.
Absolutely. Romantic Warrior, Peter Lau at the barrier draw wasn't concerned by the barrier draw because whatever happens, James McDonald just seems to fire him out and get him into the 1x1.
Well, a bit like his rider, he's got to be the most unflustered horse in training. You could just throw anything at him and he seems to be able to take it. I thought, Jenny, what he did to come back off the Cox Plate and win it again here before Christmas was a remarkable effort. He had a good horse up against him, looked like he was beaten. He would not go down.
No, he won't. He really tries hard. You can see him put his head down. Now, his last 3, Nick, he's only won by a short margin, so I might add, but he still gets the job done, and that just shows his class.
Sorry. I was just wondering, how much longer do we think he can keep doing that? Yeah, I don't think he's ever been quite as explosive as he was in the Longines race December before last, 22, when he streaked away to win by 5 here. Now, I know he's taken slightly better opposition since, but you feel it's his courage getting him through because his campaign's been that much tougher.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Look, he's a very talented horse, and he always gives his best. He's barely run a bad race.
You always hear James McDonald saying that he's just so tough, he never knows how to lie down. The horse that are here to challenge him, Do By Honour, does he get the conditions to suit this afternoon now?
Tom Marquand, in conditions not dissimilar to this, has ridden this horse handy in Australia before and it's paid off. He will keep pouring it on. I think the reign of all horses running here this week has played more in the favour of Dubai Honour than any other. He was third in this last year, behind Romantic Warrior in Prognosis. I think he can get a bit closer. Let's start, Jenny, with Straight Aaron, who comes back from Dubai. Ran a pretty sound race over in Dubai as well for Casper Founds. Brendan Abdullah rode. It's Vincent Ho here. And that, of course, was in the Dubai turf. He was beaten 4.5 lengths there. Yeah, look, he was. I'm not sure that he had too many excuses. He's a very talented horse on his day. He looks nice and relaxed here in the parade. His coat's good. He looks nice and fit. He does appear to be walking out freely as well. So I think he's come back in pretty good shape, actually. And he should be running on towards the end, no matter what happens here. He's not. He does look good. I'll consider him. Look at this horse, Romantic Warrior. I mean, you could let a bomb off next to him. He's remarkable, Jenny.
Yeah, look, he is. He's a beautiful horse. He's one of the ISGs. He's now a 6-year-old. He's done everything that he's been asked of and even travelled and won. And, I mean, you have to be a serious horse to win the Cox Plate. And he beat a serious horse in Mr. Brightside as well by a very short margin. So he's come back. He's won since that. He just gives his all. I'm just heading to him now so I can get a better look at him. He's nice and strong and healthy. He's just behaving himself beautifully as per usual, and nothing wrong with his action either. He looks really well. In fact, he looks stronger than I've seen him. One question he hasn't been asked is, will he handle a wet track?
Well, indeed, and this horse will. Dubai Honour, William Haggis and his team, Izzy Paul, the assistant trainer, they've got him here in really good shape. Tom Marquand knows him, has faith in him, trusts him. He's sometimes fallen just below the top level in Europe, but he's such a doughty traveller that he brings his game wherever he goes. And it might be a blessing in disguise that a small hiccup kept him away from that Australian campaign, because he comes here fresh and off a win back home at Captain. Philip Robinson, legend in Hong Kong when he was riding here in the 1980s and 90s. He was telling me yesterday, had so many people to see, didn't want to disappoint anybody. He representing the owner, Mohammed Abeda.
He's looking good too. He's got a really muscled shoulder on him, and he's a compact, strong-bodied horse. He's walking out nice and freely. He's behaving himself well. So I would suggest that he's not going to disgrace, and he'll love the give in the ground. He looks good.
We know Hkjc Sha well, Jenny. He's a veteran soldier here in Hong Kong, but there must be a few doubts around the track conditions for him this afternoon.
He's a lovely horse, this guy. He's getting on a bit. He's now an 8-year-old, but he looks in fantastic order. He's walking out nice and freely still. He's fit and healthy, and he's keen and eager. I'm sure he's not going to disgrace the way he parades. He looks really well.
Here's the runner-up in the race last year. Prognosis, Yuga Kawada takes the ride. Coming into this week, I think there were fair reasons on form and the way he's been campaigned to think that he could get a good bit closer to Romantic Warrior, if not beat him. But again, I think conditions put a little bit of unknown there. How does he look, Jenny?
Yeah, he looks good. I was really quite taken by his most recent win in Japan. To look at, he's bandaged quite heavily on all four legs. He's not an overly big horse, a tall horse, but he's quite compact and well put together. Good muscle strength in the shoulder, just very slightly warm around the flank area and behind, but nice and eager and very fit looking. So he does look well.
We're going to 9, Jenny. Northbridge, who comes out of a race in Qatar where they went forward and then tried to stack them up, and then he got caught behind them and wanted to over-race a bit. Things was a bit bizarre all round, I thought, really. Yeah,
look, he's just going out now, but I got a quick glimpse of him. He's a very strong-bodied horse. He's an entire, so he's got the big, thick neck on him and the solid hind quarters. Looks quite healthy, but I only got that glimpse, so that's all I can tell you about him.
His sword point, Derek Leung riding this horse by American Pharaoh, looks well and was a good Grade 2 winner in Australia prior to coming here to Hong Kong. I think he's up against it at this level, though, Jenny.
I do too. I just don't think he's going as well as he was, a few months ago. So he really needs to turn that around. To look at, I mean, you can never knock him too much as far as appearance goes, because he is a really nice type and he's always had a fantastic attitude. Really good muscle strength in the shoulder, very healthy, fluent and strong. So he actually presents well. I can't put the pen through.
Nimbus, Jenny's over 50 to 1 here, but he's gotten better with age, this horse. He just turns up and runs a good solid race at the elite level, Jenny.
He certainly does, and he's a horse that gets a little bit on edge here in the parade, as you can see for yourself. His jockey's just about jump on board, but he never disgraces. He looks as fit as he can be. He's maintained his overall strength. He's nice and healthy in his coat, and he's nowhere near as hot as I have seen him in the past, so he's pretty good, actually.
Here's 5G Patch. Brenton Abdullah taking the ride for the first time on 5G Patch. And Abdullah, Jenny, has had a magic touch on a number of the horses that he's got on since arriving here in Hong Kong.
He's been a great addition to the jockey ranks. There's no doubt about that. So I think Brenton is enjoying his opportunities at the moment. And I don't know whether or not he can get this horse home. 21 starts, but just the 2 wins, 5G Patch. But he's an athletic type. He looks quite healthy. He's a bit of a bit more lightly framed horse, but he's very fluent in his walking action. He is fit.
I think I'll be looking forward to the 2,400 metre race at the end of the month. Moving on to Happy Together now. Jenny, how's he parading? He's had a breakout season this season with Frankie Law.
Yeah, he's a very strong-bodied horse. He's got really good muscle strength in the shoulder. Just getting on his toes a little bit. They've bandaged him on his bumpers there. I like the hind quarters on him as well, just nicely enough on his toes. He doesn't parade badly, and he's a very honest type of racehorse. Whether or not he's good enough to take it out, I don't think so, but I could leave him on a place line the way he parades.
Well, here is Massive Sovereign, the Derby winner, Zach Purton, riding this horse 2 from 2 here in Hong Kong. On what he's done here so far, he's potentially a massive talent here. He was a slow burn for Aidan O'Brien, but Jenny, I'm so excited to see what he can achieve, particularly with a confidence-filled Purton in the plate.
Oh, absolutely. And, you mentioned how quiet Romantic Warrior is. Well, he would challenge him for that as well. He's a beautifully behaved horse. He's a really good type. He's really trimmed up too since those 2 runs since he's been here. He's just nice and tight and fit now, and he was doing it so well before when he was able to win the Derby too. You've got to like him. He's a really nice horse.
That's the parade for the FWD Qeii Touba Cup. Let's head over to Nick Child, who's standing by with William Hkjc.
Yes, thank you very much, Tom. Please say that William Hkjc has very kindly joined me to chat about his run at Dubai Honour in this. William, your 3rd appearance here with this horse in Hong Kong, and I know this is one place you've always wanted to get that win. How happy are you with the horse today?
Yeah, I'm pleased with his condition. I'm pleased with the rain. I just hope it upsets the Japanese and the locals.
How big a factor is that? I mean, we know he's got some very good form. I mean, his win, thinking back to his win in Longchamp a couple of seasons ago, was obviously very impressive. Is that key to him, do you think?
Well, I think he doesn't mind cutting the ground, but I don't think it's that bad. I think it's soft on top and pretty firm underneath. So if it's a bit loose, hopefully it'll upset the locals, as I say, and we'll be able to handle it, hopefully.
He's had a slightly different preparation this time, no Australia. He returned to Kempton with a nice prep for this, so a slightly different way into this race. But are you happy that he's as good as ever?
Yeah, I think he's in really good form. I was pleased with him at Kempton, and the second horse won a Group 3 on Friday night at Sandown. So I think the form's pretty good, and we won him the race easily, so I hope he's in good shape, but he's going to need to be in his best form to win.
Izzy Paul's been here with him, your assistant trainer. Obviously, she's been here before. All the reports have been good. I mean, he's looked great at track work.
Yeah, she's been very happy with him. She knows him well. She was in Australia with him last year. So, when I come, all I do is interfere. So I'll leave it to her.
And William, just finally, you've gone on record as saying this is somewhere you've wanted to have a winner. Apart from the obvious, I'm sure, the excellent prize money, the status. What is it about Hong Kong that sort of drives you on to want to have that winner here?
Well, it's fantastic racing, and as you say, apart from the obvious, it's just very competitive, and it would be something personally I'd like to tick off. We've won a few races in a few different countries, and this is one we have failed, so we'd like to put that right someday.
Let's hope you do today. Thanks for chatting to us, and best of luck.
My pleasure, thanks.
With thanks there to William Hkjc speaking with Nick Child. Numbers from the paddock, Jenny, for the FWD Qeii 2 Cup.
All right, I'm going to go with the new kid on the block in number 11, Massive Sovereign. I thought he paraded beautifully here this afternoon. He has paraded pretty well on each occasion, but he's just looking even fitter here this afternoon. So I've got him on top of Romantic Warrior, who's going to be very, very hard to beat. He looks terrific, and he's just got the score on the board. Next best, I thought, was the 3, the Japanese horse, one of the Japanese horses in Hkjc Sha. He's performed well here in the past, and he just looks really fit and well. He's a lovely athletic horse. And then I thought number 2 was next best. That's Dubai Honour, the William Hkjc horse. I thought I like his strength. He was well behaved in the parade. He looks great in his coat too. So in order for me from the parade, I've gone 11, 1, 3 and 2.
11, 1, 3 and 2. Upstairs to you, Mark, for your thoughts here a couple of minutes out from the Qeii 2 Cup.
Got that horse in, Tom. There is a massive support crew here again for Massive Sovereign. They've got an even bigger flag than what they had on Derby Day. It's taking up a small section of the bay down there. Anyway, Romantic Warrior, star, champion, so hard to beat. Loves Sha 10. It's taken Golden 60 to roll him here twice. And Russian Emperor over 2,400 metres, but comes to 2,000 metres. He's nigh on unbeatable. One on top to beat number 11, Massive Sovereign. If he looms up, you'll hear them downstairs. 4 Prognosis goes in for Japan, and 2 Dubai Honour. Another one of the visitors we just heard from William Hkjc. 1, 11, 4 and 2. Paul can't go past the toppy.
Yeah, look, I'm pretty similar to you there with the one on top, not outside the square, and this one I think Romantic Warrior can win. Prognosis, same Quinella as last year, is the biggest danger. The 11, Massive Sovereign, the new kid on the block, and then the British rated here, which is Dubai Honour with the wet track. 1, 4, 11 and 2 for me.
1, 11, 4 and 2. Romantic Warrior, Massive Sovereign. I think Prognosis has a big chance here, and to Dubai Honour. Those are my numbers, Jenny.
Yeah, look, I've gone with the 11. The 11 on top. That's Massive Sovereign. I thought he paraded really, really nicely, as I said. And the 1, Romantic Warrior. Well, he's the champ. He's the one to beat. There's no doubt about that. He looks terrific as per usual. Next best is the 3 horse, Hkjc Sha. I thought he paraded really nicely. He looks so fit and healthy. And then the 2, Dubai Honour, very strong, muscly type of horse. Won't mind this give in the ground, so he might be able to acquit himself well here. 11, 1, 3 and 2 for me, Nick. What did you fancy?
Well, at these odds, Jenny, you're going to have to play Dubai Honour. Number 19 at the moment on the board, and 4.2 the place as well. He's such an honest, consistent horse. He's been here a couple of times before, run well. I think at those odds, well, he's just gone 16, and I can see why. Obviously, Romantic Warrior is going to run well. The bottom, Massive Sovereign, all the value's gone, squeezed out, could be a massive talent. And the silly one at a huge price that I thought might run okay was Nimble Nimbus, because there's no ground worries, and Andrea Razzani seems to have got another £7 or £8 out of him this season.
Look, he has been so honest, hasn't he? He hasn't won at the big level yet, but you never know what might happen here.
He has been close up. Paul, what's the strategy as they're not too far away from moving in?
Yeah, around the favourites here, 1, 4 and 11. So the two locals with Prognosis for Japan. But look, he's drifted out to 9.3 Prognosis, so he's getting to a real good price at this stage. As Romantic Warrior comes in, he's into 1.8. Massive Sovereign's been pretty steady there at 3.3. 16, the next one, which is Dubai Honor, just coming a little point. 17, Straight Aaron's not far away from him, and Hkjc just come in from 20 to 18. The play there, 1, 4 and 11.
Nick, there doesn't look to be a lot of pace in this race, and the way the track has been running today, and you've got Massive Sovereign drawn on the inside there. He's best ridden cold from what we've seen, but can they change that at all today?
Big ask for also inexperienced, but as Jenny was talking about Massive Sovereign's demeanour in the paddock, if you've ever been to Ballydoyle and watched Aidan O'Brien condition these young horses, it's not a surprise. They don't put a hair out of place.
Yeah.
They are very well schooled, very well drilled from a very early age. And that street wisdom is going to stand him in good stead and belie his inexperience potentially. But can he go forward and be right on the sharp end? I don't know. I feel Dubai Honours, Tom Marquand has got to try and take the bull by the horns here. I feel that's his only play.
He's drawn barrier number 9 here to try and fire across. Prognosis, some Japanese media was sort of suggesting that he was a bit disappointing here in December, so they might have had high hopes for him, but he's one of those types of horses that just wants a good, solid, fast, not stop-start tempo, doesn't he?
Yeah, and is he going to get that with the way the track's playing and with the absence of an obvious contested pace? I suspect he won't. I think at the beginning of the week, everyone was all about Prognosis. You got to the end of the week, seen how the track's riding today, people aren't quite so sure.
And the other thing about him is he can be slow out of the gates. So if he's on the back foot for starters, it's going to make it very tough for him here.
You get the feeling, Paul, that Connections would like to have him a bit closer in the run, but that just sometimes with him it's just not possible.
No, it's just it's all about the jump. He's drawn 5, so there's the option there if he does jump, but to get it close. The other one that does like to race on the pace, and I think he's going to get a good run, and he's at massive price, is Northbridge, the other Japanese from barrier 3. He's at 81, but there is place money from now. He's into 14 a place.
Well, he's probably a better rolling type of horse as well, because he wanted to over-race and fire up last time in Qatar, didn't he?
It's the kind of day where you could make a case for anything finishing in the frame. I just didn't think he was good enough. Interestingly, though, Sire Maurice won this back in 2016, was one of the first big Japanese winners on this card.
Yeah. Of course, Rebels Romance, he was behind him in the HH Amir Trophy, and he won the Shima Classic.
I know, against everyone's expectations, but if you thought today's ride from Zach was good on Beauty Eternal, go back and have a look at William Buick in the Shima Classic. Grand larceny, to coin Tom Durkin's great phrase that day.
Absolutely. He's not, I don't think he's up to these, Ginny, is Sword Point, but he's got a little bit of form on Rain Affected going.
Yeah, look, I've probably been a bit disappointed with him of late because I was expecting him just to continue to progress, and it just sort of stopped. But, that happened with Beauty Eternal as well, and look what he did today.
Derek Long riding for Frankie Law. They're getting set for the third and final Group 1 here this afternoon at Sharton. It's 1.8 about Romantic Warrior down in front of the stands here at Sharton. The 2,000 metres with race caller Mark McNamara.
Thank you, Tom. There's a lot of green on the place line here. Dubai Honour 3.7, a Prognosis 2 a place, the 7 Nimble Nimbus 4.3 and the 9 Northbridge backed into 13 on a place line. Romantic Warrior's gone forward. He's at 1.8, 1.2, looking for his third in a row. The horse to win it before him was the mighty Japanese mare, Loves Only You, Her Farewell. One out, Straight Aaron to complete the line. Romantic Warrior's now 1.7. Derby winner drawn 2. Purton looking for a Group 1 double. And they're racing. Prognosis missed it by 3 lengths. Northbridge speeding out from barrier number 3. Sword Point happy together. Romantic Warrior is going to be wide from his draw into the first turn, and Nimble Nimbus is going to be wider. Ishiaguazu's down on the fence from Massive Sovereign, and then came Straight Aaron. Dubai Honours wide. Second last is 5G Patch, and Prognosis is 3 lengths away last of all. Northbridge is the leader. Half a length over the 3 wide Nimble Nimbus, and Sword Point running third. Romantic Warrior, he's going to be left in the open now. 3 wide Romantic Warrior, because Nimble Nimbus has gone up outside the leader. McDonald's looking to slot in somewhere. Hkjc's gone ahead of them, and Romantic Warrior got in on the back of Sword Point. He's just too good, McDonald. On the rail is Happy Together. Then came Dubai Honour. Prognosis loops them 3 wide from Massive Sovereign. Straight Aaron and 5G Patch a length away last of all. Northbridge halfway in the Qeii 2. 1,000 to run. Leads a length and a half. Nimble Nimbus. Sword Point next. And then came Hkjc. 3 wide Prognosis 5th from Happy Together. Romantic Warrior 3 wide again following Prognosis. Then Dubai Honour, Massive Sovereign, and the other pair are 3 lengths away. Straight Aaron and also 5G Patch. Northbridge looking for an all of the way win. Gets to the 600 metre mark. He's 3/4 Nimble Nimbus. 3 wide Sword Point. 4 wide Prognosis. Then Hkjc. Romantic Warrior ridden up to follow Prognosis. Dubai on next from Massive Sovereign looking for inside runs. Northbridge the leader. 3 Hkjc Prognosis. Here he comes. Romantic Warrior's wider out. Northbridge still leads it. Romantic Warrior, he's outside the 4. Prognosis still there with Hkjc. It's Romantic Warrior versus Japan. The 4 Japanese with him. He's in front, the Warrior of Prognosis. What a ride, what a horse, and he wins it again. Romantic Warrior beat Prognosis, Northbridge and Happy Together. Then 5G Patch, Dubai Honour. Hkjc next in, followed across by Massive Sovereign, Nimble Nimbus. And the last 2, Straight Aaron and Sword Point. You tip your cap to James McDonald. You tip it to Denny Shum. You tip it to this horse. Romantic Warrior. 1.9 and 1.1. He was 5 wide around the last turn and he wasn't going too far. Prognosis has gone an enormous race in defeat. Northbridge at any old price has run 3rd, Happy Together 4th. But this horse, it's just the best. He's won overseas. He's won here. He was 3 wide early. Yep, that says it all. A shake of the head. What a dude. And the man on his back's not a bad dude either. James McDonald somehow managed to shove in to get some cover going into the back straight. And then he has just lifted. He had to take on Japan. All 4 of them were there. And he has lifted him down the straight to win. What an animal. 3 Qeii Cups in a row. And that one as good as any of them. Here is Nick Child. He's always got something to offer, James McDonald. I'm sure today will be no different, Nick.
Oh, I'm sure he has got plenty to offer. James McDonald, how about that?
Just can't believe this horse. I've got no words for him, eh? It brings a tear to my eye how good he is. And
James, that they came...
I haven't ridden one like it.
No. They came there to challenge you, the might of Japan, what they sent over to try and beat this horse, but he's now won 3 of these, 2 for you. I mean, just try and sum it up for us, put it into words. I mean, he does leave us all speechless, and notably you.
Mate. I actually don't know. He was beaten at the 600. He just finds a way. It's incredible. I dead set didn't have one thing go my way. I had 10 riders dead set against me and the horse, and I just had no favours at all, and he's pulled out a run like that. Incredible.
He is an incredible horse.
He is incredible.
Did you, I mean, at any stage of the race, was there at any moment, I mean, it was a messy race, you were caught wide, so it was never ideal.
There wasn't one part of the race I was happy with.
Really?
To be honest with you. First time going out, I was deep, but I was in a rhythm, but not in a good spot. 1,000 from home, I was finally having a rest, and one took off, and yes!
There you go, that's more like it,
and then at the 600, he's off the bridle, just struggling in the ground a tad, and he just picks up. I'm just in disbelief.
I can quite believe it. Listen, enjoy the moment, James. Well done, and well done you and Hugh.
Thank you.
A somewhat speechless James McDonald after the FWD Qeii Cup with Romantic Warrior. He was flat as anything at the 600 metres. He has pulled it out of the fire here to win his 3rd.
Prognosis missed it by 3 lengths. Northbridge speeding out from barrier number 3, Sword Point Happy Together. Romantic Warrior is going to be wide from his draw into the first turn, and Nimble Nimbus is going to be wider. Hkjc Sha down on the fence from Massive Sovereign, and then came straight Aaron Dubai on his wide. Second last is 5G Patch, and Prognosis is 3 lengths away last of all. Northbridge is the leader. Half a length over the 3 wide Nimble Nimbus, and Sword Point running third. Romantic Warrior, he's going to be left in the open now. 3 wide Romantic Warrior, because Nimble Nimbus has gone up outside the leader. McDonald's looking to slot in somewhere. Hkjc Sha's gone ahead of them, and Romantic Warrior got in on the back of Sword Point. He's just too good, McDonald. On the rail is Happy Together. Then came Dubai Honour. Prognosis loops them 3 wide from Massive Sovereign. Straight Aaron and 5G Patch a length away last of all. Northbridge halfway in the Qeii 2. 1,000 to run. Leads a length and a half. Nimble Nimbus. Sword Point next. And then came Hkjc Sha. 3 wide Prognosis 5th from Happy Together. Romantic Warrior 3 wide again following Prognosis. Then Dubai Honour, Massive Sovereign, and the other pair are 3 lengths away. Straight Aaron and also 5G Patch. Northbridge looking for an all of the way win. Gets to the 600 metre mark. He's 3/4 Nimble Nimbus. 3 wide Sword Point. 4 wide Prognosis. Then Hkjc Sha. Romantic Warrior ridden up to follow Prognosis. Dubai on next from Massive Sovereign looking for inside runs. Northbridge the leader. 3 Hkjc Sha Prognosis. Here he comes. Romantic Warrior's wider out. Northbridge still leads it. Romantic Warrior, he's outside the 4. Prognosis still there with Hkjc Sha. It's Romantic Warrior versus Japan. The 4 Japanese with him. He's in front, the Warrior of Prognosis. What a ride, what a horse, and he wins it again. Romantic Warrior.
Just unbelievable all round there from Romantic Warrior, and Prognosis as well. That was some race, Nick.
A frenetic edition of the Qeii 2 Cup. James McDonald, who's ridden at the top level every major racing nation in the world and has succeeded. He's in awe of this horse, and you think of those great horses down the years who are talented, yes, but find a way to win and win ugly when things have gone against them. Horses like Tisnau, horses like Giant's Causeway. He's in that mould. He is in that mould, Romantic Warrior, and he's done it outside Hong Kong as well. And it's Japan next. He goes to the Asuda Kinnan in the summer. That's a big roll of the dice again from Peter Lau, the owner, but full marks to them.
Oh, absolutely. Well done to James McDonald. As he said, nothing really went his way, but he still managed to get the job done once again. And the second horse, what an enormous run from him, Prognosis. Oh, my gosh.
He missed the break by 5-6 lengths, Prognosis, as you suggested he might, Jenny, but I didn't think we thought he'd do it that badly.
No, it was bad. And then he did a mid-race move, and then he was caught wide.
Wild mid-race move from Yuga Kawada.
So he has run an absolute ripping race there to be defeated by this champ, Romantic Warrior. And James has no words for this horse, and I think the horse does all the talking anyway.
Yeah, and interesting, he's such a heavy favourite. Everybody's looking at him, and James pretty much intimating that there were about 10 other jockeys trying to ride Romantic Warrior in that race as well.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable all round. Of course, came through the international sale here, Paul, and it's win number 96 for the Kiwi, James McDonald, in terms of Group 1 victories around the world, and what a horse race that was in the end.
Oh, unbelievable. And as you guys have touched on, the first 2 were just enormous runs, both first and second. And take nothing away from the third horse, Northbridge, because, he led and he was over 100 to 1, and he stayed on nicely for third. Happy Together running well in a race of his life in fourth. 19 and 11.50, 16.50 for second, 151 for third. Quinella 1 and 4, 47.50. The forecast 78, the TS 149, 3,517, and the trio 1,382. But what a horse race that was.
Yeah, it certainly was. James McDonald heading back to weigh in. Dubai Honour missed the kick a bit. Disappointing. Didn't get the position I don't think Tom Markman wanted. Looked great in the paddock, I thought. Just before they went into the stalls, he was a bit mulish going forward into the gate. He just never really looked happy.
Yeah, look, I think he's finished in 5th position, so he's picked up a prize money check, and he's acquitted himself okay there. But not good enough today. Nothing was going to beat those first or second horses.
Probably another one of the stories, the biggest stories to come out of the races, the Derby winner, Massive Sovereign. He was back on the fence. There was some interference somewhere at about the 1400 between him and Straight Aaron, also sort of got tangled up there, and they've both finished well back, so he has failed big time today.
But he won't be failing in future, I don't think. He's a horse of conspicuous promise. It was just a bit too much too soon for him. But what a tough horse this Romantic Warrior is. There don't seem to be enough superlatives for him. And it's so infectious watching McDonald's reaction to him as well.
Oh, for sure. You can see how in love with him he is. Of course, he's got his beautiful wife, Caitlin, due to have another baby very shortly, but this horse is a very close second behind Caitlin, I can assure you. Congratulations to the McDonald family. And, of course, Danny Shumi's done a fantastic job with this horse.
You just think of some of the great horses, Australia, New Zealand, around the world that James McDonald has ridden. This must come close to being one of the very best.
Well, the nice thing is also when people try and contextualise what Hong Kong-based horses have achieved, particularly if they haven't raced much beyond here, a man like James McDonald can tell you, because he's ridden good ones everywhere. So if he thinks this horse is good, and we've seen him win a Cox Plate as well, and he's going to take on Japanese in their own backyard, if he can do that and win, then no one anywhere in the world is going to have any doubt as to exactly how talented he is. I'd echo comments about the third horse here, who I honestly gave no chance to at all beforehand, but hat tip to Paul, who did give him a shot. Could have done without Nimble Nimbus hassling him all the way as well.
And also Happy Together's put in a PB today too, hasn't he? Finishing in 4th position, so good effort from him.
Quickly back to Romantic Warriors, Paul, when he got beaten in the Turnbull, and there was a lot of sort of negativity around it, saying, oh, your Hong Kong horses, they're not good enough. I'm happy to take him on in the Cox Plate. James McDonald always kept the faith.
Oh, he definitely did. And there was a lot going against him. He hadn't raced for a long time, first time in a new country.
There was a feed issue.
Yeah, all sorts of different issues. And then to come back and win so doggedly in the Cox Plate to beat Mr. Brightside by a nose, the Australian public saw the real Romantic Warrior, and I think the Japanese will see him in the summer.
Can't wait to see him go over there in June and to perform. Of course, when he absolutely bolted up over Dan on the Kid in the Hong Kong Cup. That was his peak performance. I think this almost matches that today, what he's done. If not, goes past that performance.
You couldn't have written a worse trip, could you?
No.
You really couldn't have written a worse trip for him. And in the end, he's quite nicely on top.
A neck again.
Of last year's runner-up.
Short margin, the victory there, but a victory nonetheless. Let's take you to the presentation shortly. It's about to happen down here in the parade ring. I don't think there was too many other stories outside of those. There are a few well-beaten runners, Paul, there over the final stages. The likes of 5G Patcher will probably see in the 2,400 metre Group 1 at the end of the month.
I thought Hkjc Sha ran quite well. He had a nice run, 3 back on the inside. He was just beaten for 4th. So, look, the old boy's come back to Hong Kong, and he's never disgraced since he's been here.
Indeed, it's... Again, Ginny, James McDonald just happened to find that right sort of spot. We'll touch more on that shortly when we see the patrol. But let's take you to the parade ring for the presentation.
The presentation ceremony of the FWD Qeii Cup will now commence.
請我哋今日咁多位台上嘅嘉賓影張大合照。我哋望一望前方位置 ，right in the middle at all our media friends and all our racing enthusiasts here at Sha Team Racecourse。俾啲熱烈嘅掌聲好冇？ Please remain where you are and please stand and remove your hats for the national anthem of a winning country, Hong Kong, China。跟住落嚟，我哋有請香港警察樂隊演奏勝出頭馬所代表國家中國香港嘅國歌，有請各位起立並隨舞。This is the end of the trophy presentation. Congratulations once again to the owner, trainer and jockey of winning horse Romantic Warrior and the Hong Kong team for winning 3 of our Group 1 races today. 多謝晒咁多位，我哋富衛保險女王杯2024頒獎典禮已經圓滿結束，喺度再次恭喜晒浪漫勇士嘅馬主練馬師同埋騎師，同埋恭喜晒我哋港隊，因為今日我哋3場嘅1級賽事呢，都係我哋港隊勝出㗎，恭喜晒！好啦，觀眾朋友，事不宜遲啦，相信大家咧都記得啦，我哋係準備咗一個特別嘅環節㗎，就係我哋今日冠軍賽快問快答嘅活動啊！大家係咪準備好啦？大家要留意住我哋嘅大屏幕，見唔見到？而家我哋係有個二維碼係出現咗咧，咁我哋而家就正式開始。
Tremendous scenes here at Sharton as that brings to a close the Group 1 race. We've still got 2 more races to come, Nick, but another fantastic day of sport here at Sharton.
Wonderful day of sport. Not everything as predicted. Conditions not conducive to races turning out exactly as they might have done if this had been run last week or even earlier in the week. The rain has been relentless, but a measure of a truly great horse is a horse that can do it in adverse circumstances, and that's exactly what we've just seen from Romantic Warrior, and he has still got a few more years in him, I think.
He has, and it's shown, Jenny, they've not been afraid to take the bull by the horns and travel, and hopefully we see them do that again come June in the Yasuda Kinnan.
Yeah, look, there's no reason why they shouldn't travel with him. He's proven traveller now after going to the Cox Plate and winning there. He's a very quiet, relaxed type of horse. He's got so much quality about him. And they're going to have a lot more fun with him, I'm suggesting, and his prize money just continues to go higher and higher.
Let's take you through the patrol here. It's going to be fascinating. Prognosis is the one we're riding with here, who's missed the start. So this will be a terrific.
Good call from our friends at Jockey Cam.
This will be a terrific Jockey Cam here. He's back last. He's given them a start. Northbridge gone forward here with the sword point. Round the outside comes Nimble Nimbus. Romantic Warrior 3 wide at this point. Do My Honour 3 wide. So Nick and Prognosis chasing them along at the back, but we'll probably see the interference here as well into the back straight. Massive Sovereign and also up on the outside straight arrow, and then we're going to see Prognosis whip around the outside at a rate of knots.
Yeah, and at this point it didn't seem as though Yuga Kawada was in any hurry, and then it was a combination of him just asking Prognosis to take a little closer order and Prognosis really grabbing hold, and he suddenly finds himself in front of Romantic Warrior.
Look, I thought just looking at that, maybe a Massive Sovereign just got onto the heels slightly of Happy Together, and that just sort of a bit of a concertina effect onto Straight Aaron as well. So it's just a little bit of interference there.
And it's to Romantic Warrior's great credit that when Prognosis rushed up to the outside of him, he didn't grab hold and get keen all of a sudden, because that's what a pro is.
Absolutely, yes. And as James said, now he's sort of stuck there. He's got a bit of cover at the moment, but that horse just came up to him, tried to put a bit of pressure on him. And the horse didn't panic. He didn't want to, he didn't get on the bit and make it difficult for James. But he said he was gone at the 600. He didn't think he was travelling well. And then all of a sudden he found something again.
Yeah, well, Kawada probably thought, I'll slide up on the outside of these, but he wouldn't have encountered or been too keen on Sword Point coming out and flushing him out 3 and 4 wide as well.
And James was angling maybe to dive down inside, but he couldn't. There was no room at the inn there. He's had to barrel down wide. I'm not sure it's the best part of the track either, Jenny.
No, and you could see that he was sort of hard riding him there prior to the turn. The horse was actually going nowhere, but once he got round that turn, he's really picked up very, very strongly. And when asked, he's produced. Now, have a look at the second horse as well, Prognosis. What a mighty performance that was too.
Yeah, they're down inside the last 50 metres there. He's battled on game. So too is Northbridge. What a storming run from him. Hkjc Sha's boxed on well again. Nimble Nimbus had that tough run. He's dropped out of it along with Sword Point and Straight Arrow.
Any sectional data, any GPS data will tell you that Prognosis has run an absurd race and should be marked up by lengths, but ultimately, if you get up against Romantic Warrior in a tight finish, it doesn't matter what's gone before, you're going to get beaten.
Yeah, it just shows his great determination to win, doesn't he? He doesn't win by big margins, but he always gets the job done.
If Wade and Paul following the Qeii Cup.
Yeah, Kununga places 1 and 4, 21.50, 1 and 9, 2.58, 4 and 9, 5.20.